Hey everybody, what is going on? I think the microphone's all screwy. Hold on now. How's that sound? Wait. Sorry, cover your ears. There we go. Okay. All right, guys, can you hear me? Oh, stop that. Let's see. Echoing a lot. Yeah, okay. What is going on? Can you guys hear me now? All right. That may have fixed it. Let me know how that sounds. Or is it echoing? Is it fixed? I hear it's fixed. All right. Right on. Maybe I don't need these then. Okay. Let me know if that still sounds good. Okay. So, what's going on, everybody? I hope y'all are doing good. I've got the internet up and running, which is a good thing, right? This shirt is from when I went and spoke down in the Aquatic Club of Pasco County in Florida. And I'm hoping to be speaking in more clubs all across the country. So I'm kind of making my charge, my huzzah for it. And I can also link any of my talks that I've done in the past that have been streamed, which is I think 3 weren't filmed and I think 5 have been filmed. But I have 2 main talks. The first one is going to be basically history of the hobby, kind of an overview, and going all the way back to Paleolithic history of early native groups, and then it will continue all the way up into the modern era, post World War II, the 1960s, and the quote-unquote toy fish era, where you can go to the store and get replaceable fish. They're cheaper than all get out. The next talk that I have prepared is going to be for 15 fish, and I just gave this one at Fishtoberfest, and it is 15 fish that are. Let me try one thing with the sound. We want to start that again. So in any case, we don't want to start that echoey thing. What's going on is I'm trying to have my other phone here for walking to the tanks and to return. But tonight's just about you guys saying hi and trying to answer questions, seeing what's going on in the world of you guys. I would love to come to Cleveland. If you guys have a club and they have speakers, I can put together, I've got like a little portfolio of what I can come speak about, what's already prepared. And then there's plenty of talks that I just haven't prepared, but I'd love to. From guppy genetics to the history of bettas and how their history is another 1,200 years older than we think it is, until recently, until this summer. And I am not charging anything but flying out to most clubs right now. So for Aquashella events like that, where they're trying to make a bunch of money, I'm gonna accept payment and so forth. But honestly, if I can get a flight or even a drive, if it's close enough out, if I can just get gas money, I will be there, and that's all I'm asking for. I know a lot of speakers want $500 or $1,000 or whatever, but I just want to be out and about talking to folks and getting the message out that essentially I'm working on a book, and I haven't really gotten deep into it yet. I've still just got stacks and stacks of files and folders and note cards and things like that. And so it's all in a bunch of places, and it's in my mind. So I'm happy though to come give, if for instance, if New York City asked me for a talk, I would organize that talk around the history of the hobby in New York City. St. Louis, apparently, somebody contacted me from their club seeing if I would be open to a talk. And immediately I responded with a bunch of history from St. Louis. So like, I'm going to try to make every single talk that I do different. And I also want to share every single talk that I do with you guys, so that when I'm on the road, you're not missing out on anything. And also so that I never get too complacent and just keeps giving the same speech every time, because I want to be pushing myself to learn about each place I'm going, and including that into my talks. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on. And yeah, and yeah, first class fish, exactly what you're saying. If you guys have a club that's smaller or on a budget or whatever it may be, I know airfare is not cheap right now. I've seen tickets usually around $200 each way, pretty much everywhere in the US, depending on where you're going. But I've seen them that cheap for Florida. I've seen them that price for California. So it doesn't seem to have any rhyme or reason. But if you get in early enough, it's like 189 to 240 is generally what it is each way. If you have enough notice. And I've got like flyer miles and stuff like that. So if you did have two clubs, and for instance, I went to go speak to LA and San Diego, I would gladly stay a week if we could set it up so that one club talks one weekend, I stay the week, checking out fish rooms, getting content, doing whatever, and that's on me. And then the next weekend I would be at the next club giving the next talk, or whatever. If the talks could be closer, that's even better, I suppose. But yeah, I just want to throw that out there. And especially if it's places like, Houston, New Orleans, Alabama, Tennessee, those are places that would also be great for filming native fish. Any big cities where I could also film aquariums and things like that. Like, I'm trying to go out and actually get more footage when I'm on the road of the things that I want to talk about in my videos. So I have basically B-roll when I'm talking about an ancient Native American site that they would flood and keep fish, like the one in the Nevada desert. Like, I want to figure out a way to speak in Las Vegas and then take the 2-hour drive out to this site and show where they have this pond that was designed to catch fish during flash floods. Stuff like that. I'd love to do, and over the next year, I'd really like to book as many of these talks as possible. So yeah, and I also have the pre-existing talks that I've already given. I'll put them linked in a comment at the end of when this video is loaded. I'll put them there so you guys can watch them. Now, they don't always have the best sound or film because it's whoever's there streaming from their phone or whatever. I haven't been the one in charge of the audio visual, but it is much appreciated. All right, so let me get to some of these questions and say hello to everybody, because it's always good to see you guys. And I feel like this is the first normal stream where I have actual sleep the night before, and I'm at my setup and the internet's working. The last 40 days or so, I've been on the road. I've spoken 6 different times. And I'm going to go to Ohio in November too. So there's quite a bit going on that I'm kind of juggling, but I love it. It's making me feel more alive since I had my back surgery back last February. I've just felt like I can go out collecting, I can walk, and I just want to take advantage of it, live it to the fullest, and also come and meet as many of you guys as possible. So first of all, it's great to see Stephanie D, Fish Dreams, Tampa Tom, Sketty Nona, Linda Worth, Brian Levy. What's going on, Brian? Robert Regan, Osio Llewellyn, what's up? And Michael Colin F, what's up? ADHD Aquatics, good to see you. D Rock, good to see you as well. Melissa Turner, always a delight. Chew, Lonnie, what's going on? Good to see you. First Class Fish, what's up? How's it going? 186 Element lurking. Yeah, well, that's all good. Jeff Kane, what's going on? Lurking and working. Yeah, I have a lot of work to do in my fish room, and I think I'm gonna set it up this winter, depending on how many talks I end up getting lined up. I think I'm gonna set it up so that we're doing a lot of maybe like paludariums and like self-sufficient tanks. Stuff will still have filter. I'll still be running filter tanks and things, but we might walk in there in a moment and just kind of talk about again which tanks are going to get redone and what's going on, So yeah. Sky Dancer, what's going on? MX Rider, what's up? I used to do BMX, and then I broke too many bones and I quit because I'm a quitter. So, Screaming Fly Productions, you mentioned last live stream that you sent me an email. I didn't get it, and I don't know if like some spam filter got rid of it or something, but I didn't get it. If you could send it again to Alexander J. Williamson at gmail.com. Or even just comment if you want on one of my recent videos, and I'll catch the comment. But I'm pretty caught up again with the comments. While I was traveling, I fell a little bit behind, but now I'm good. Paul McCarthy, what's up? Glassbox Swimmers, what's up? Has anyone ever tried the Fish Keeper formula to treat different fish sickness? It's a natural remedy. Was thinking about using it. I have not, and I don't know what that is, honestly. First Class Fish says New Orleans has a nice aquarium from what I remember. Ours is mediocre, to be honest, but years ago we had one, older ones in the country, I believe. It closed when I was a kid. Where are you, First Class Fish? New Orleans does have a cool aquarium, and obviously aquariums seem to be oriented towards saltwater, which is fine, but what I really enjoy are the aquariums that have natural biotopes of the region, like on the Mississippi. Like St. Louis, I believe, had an exhibit for a while that was all the fish from the Mississippi River, and I really enjoy that. Plus it'd be great to yeah. So Ben Backstrom, what's going on, buddy? And Luke, what's going on, man? My travel buddy. Where is the OAC or OCA rather? Because I'm not speaking there per se that I know of yet, but I wanted to get in contact with those folks because somehow that event totally missed my radar. So yeah. Colin says, I rarely get to catch screams, and I gotta say, you're looking great, man. Hope you're feeling great. Yeah, the other night I had a lupus flare, and I didn't have my steroid injections that I have to do. I've got all these health issues, obviously, with the lupus, and it's an autoimmune disorder. And I will just get so run down and haggard, and my face will be all red, and my eyes will be swollen. And my focus isn't so good just because I'm hurting and just basically the equivalent of dehydrated mentally. But I am feeling really good right now. And lately, when I've been out giving talks, traveling, I've felt so good. It's really given me a new lease on life. It's keeping me busy. It's keeping me on my toes, like going back through my research, doing new research, and just excited about meeting people. I would 100% love to go just places I haven't been before. You know, Kansas City, I've been through on a car trip once, but like I know they have a fish club. Hawaii, obviously, I would take a trip to Hawaii in a second. I will give 5 speeches to go to Hawaii. But I just want to throw that out there that if you're in a club, you want to hear my speeches, I will customize a speech for your club, and your club can pick from a number of speeches that I've given already, or we can work out a new one. But I want to be known as the guy who shares his speeches, who's not like, no, you can't film it, like many speakers are. And I get why they do that, especially when their whole speech that they give to every club in the country is like footage of one trip that they took to somewhere. And or if they're a professor and they studied one thing, I get it. Like they spent 20 years doing that. They want to be able to talk about it exclusively. For me, I'm reading all these sources and I'm trying to make this, you know, a 40 to 80 hour a week endeavor with the YouTube and with my tanks and trying things out, reading things, meeting people, visiting places. Like the salmon are spawning right now, so I'll probably get some footage of that soon. So things like that. And I don't know. I think that the channel's finally at a point where oh, you have the picture of weird spheres for me. All right, cool, Screaming Fly. Yeah, I'm just at a point now where the channel, I think in the long run, could be supplemented by talking and things, but YouTube, as always, they're changing and tweaking their things. And if I don't make content that's not just like, whoa, watch me feed my arowana to my alligator, or, you know, videos that would go viral, so to speak, which isn't really my style usually, the channel will kind of peter along and may never get much bigger. And I'm okay with that. But I wanted to come up with something, whether it's talking in public, doing aquascaping, just different things that I want to do to continue to expand the fish keeping, the history, and documenting the hobby, documenting history that's being made now, science that's coming out now. I just really want to secure that niche and do a good job. You know, when I get something wrong, I also want you guys to correct that, for instance. Michael says, hello, Alex. Will Skittle Shrimp Tank, will it turn into wild after some time? Usually. So what will happen is you'll get some really cool crosses the first few generations. Like if you cross a blue, though, with an orange, for instance, you may get a speckled blue and orange baby. Usually it grows up to be more of a clear with blotches on it kind of look. And oftentimes you'll get like a brown or a clearish kind of tan color. But it may have some traits. It's just those traits aren't going to be solid. So even if you loved what that baby looked like and it was half orange, half blue, it wouldn't pass down the trait as a stabilized line in like next generation. Even if you had 2 exactly the same ones, it's not a true line, and it's just a random mix of the genes. So eventually what happens is after 4 or 5 generations, they tend to just kind of revert, unfortunately. Oink Master Supreme forever, what's up? Cleveland, Ohio. I would love to come speak in Cleveland too. You guys have such a rich history in Cleveland. So does Columbus. Columbus, Cleveland, Cincinnati, obviously Chicago. You guys all have really cool fish histories. Average fish keeper. Let's check out the Issaquah hatchery. Yeah, I'm so down. Garden of Eder, what's up? What's up, Grant? If you guys haven't checked it out, I went over to Grant and Shelby's house 4 nights, 14 hours and some of footage, and we got it down to an hour and a half. It's still just scraping the surface of what they're up to, and they're expanding all the time. So it's kind of crazy, but I think that it's a really fun video and you guys would get a kick out of it. Later Rorschach, thank you so much for becoming a member. So guys, just so you know, if you're a member, you get access to my Fishery episodes, which every week, unless I'm traveling, and even some of those weeks I'm doing Fishery. I think I've missed 2 weeks this year so far since January. But it's going to be 4 episodes every week. You get them towards the beginning of the week, either Sunday or early Tuesday, usually somewhere in there. And they'll be on the Aquatic Morning Show for free to everyone to watch, because I think that everyone should get access to the content if they really want it. And you can go back and watch the Aquatic Morning Show and catch each single episode. But those episodes are always going to be audio based. So they're also going to be uploaded soon into a podcast playlist. And you guys will have access to that first, / you'll have all 4 episodes at once every week. And if you guys want behind the scenes footage, extra footage of Grant's house, for instance, the tour stuff that didn't make the cut, that is where I will be sharing stuff with members. So they'll see more videos just up than your average viewer. And I feel like generally I try and keep the viewers pretty in the loop as far as the behind the scenes stuff anyways for everyone. But yeah, so let's see here. Do we have any mods in the house? Let's see here. Anyways, Night Owl Arium. I like the name. What's going on? And let's see here. It's an honor to be a member. Thank you. You make amazing content. I feel weird saying that out loud, but thank you. Good morning, everyone over there, over the pond. Kent, what's up? Welcome. Good to see you. Fed all your tanks mosquito larvae for the first time tonight. Everyone went nuts. I know they do. It's really fun. If you have, you will not make this putt, you jackass. Yeah, I can try to make you a mod. Hold on, let's try this. All right, guys. So you might hear some backfiring noise in a sec, but hopefully stop this. We want this picture up. All right. So I don't know why this thing is stuck in solo layout. It drives me freaking wild. It drives me so mad. Can you guys hear me now? Can you guys hear me now? Testing, testing. Can you hear me now? So I wanted to share with you guys, and if you guys have any questions, just feel free to ask them. You know, do your thing, do your dang thing. But I have some new plants, and I did a bunch of rescaping for about 6 hours last night. So I wanted to show you guys what I'm working on. because I needed a more manageable tank than the one I had that was just out of control. Is your phone locked in portrait mode? It's like it's not in the settings. It says it'll rotate, but it won't. Let's see if it will in this actually. Oh, it did. It just won't in. It won't in. It won't let me do it in what's that called? YouTube app. Only in StreamYard, I guess. Because right now, like every time I try it in StreamYard, it just goes nuts and drives me insane. So yesterday, yesterday we were having some serious issues with tech. But today it looks like everything's doing better than it was. So this tank here, I've done a lot of remodeling. So in this tank here, this is all hardscaped right here. Like my fingernails are touching hardscape. And there's a Nubius galore that has just been lost in here. And so there's all this Anubias I need to like resettle back into the rock work and the stick work. And there's everything from this giant Fraser eye. Look at that leaf. Isn't that beautiful? All the way, Silver Creek, what's up? Good to see you. And Hippie John Fisher Mom, what's up? Also, I'm finally getting some nice purple back into my Aponigeton that is supposed to be. Also, my Laganandra Silver is doing really good. Look how healthy that leaf is. Look at that silver. That is my favorite plant in the hobby. And there was none of the weird variants were at AGA this year. Very odd. But in any case, so the other thing that I'll be doing soon is I'll be reviewing this heater. I've had it now for, I don't know, 9 months or something, and I feel like I can give it a good review now. I can't give it a review if it's going to break in 3 months, but I can give it a review as of up to what I've seen thus far and the features and stuff. So I'll probably be doing that. And apparently, F Zone, which is a company that does a bunch of aquarium stuff, usually kind of on the cheaper end, they're making a new CO2 kit and pack. And they asked if I wanted to try anything. And I told them, yes, CO2 pack. I will be giving my honest opinion on that and running that on this tank. It's a dual regulator. So we'll have the CO2 running out of here, just like it was here. This is empty right now, but then we'll run it back through here. I'm going to rescape this whole thing too, as winter is just basically upon us. You can see that there's these two little quarries that are cruising in here, and then there's little teeny blue shrimp. These are from Grant at the Garden of Eder, and you can see there's also a bunch of pregnant females. There's one. They're all over in this tank. Oh, there's another one right here too. And oh wait, what's on her? Oh no, 2 of her eggs are white. I bet they're just moldy. I don't know. But in any case, these little shrimp, there's a lot of them. He sent me, I don't know, 15 or so. About when was that? It was the second round of shrimp, I think. But Grant sent me some from his tour. These are the ones from like outside. And there are so many now. I mean, they are everywhere in this tank now. I don't know if you guys can see back in there, but they're just every little inch of this tank has them. The other thing that people had been asking about, and I showed last time, but I want to show it again, the Rotala mini butterfly that a lot of people have been saying, what does that look like? It's a really cute, dainty little Rotala. And down below that, a lot of people were asking, what do your Snowball dwarf Plecos look like? And this is what they look like. These are over a year old now. Well over a year, actually. These are probably pushing 2 years old now. And let me move this rock. They're always on this rock. But look at that. They are not big at all. They're like the size of anchor catfish almost. Which is just crazy to see that they don't grow hardly at all. They're in a 22.5 gallon tank here, so I think they would have room. First class fish, any word on how the aquarium co-op regulator is made? Most are mid-grade. Years back, you could get excellent ones. Seems like there's less of that now with the eBay parts. You know, if it's aquarium co-op, my guess is that it's mid to like lower upper, if that makes sense. It's probably not high grade. It's probably something that he's getting for at least a third of the price that he's selling it for, at least, if not like a fifth or a fourth of the price. You know, usually he finds a generic product that works pretty well, and maybe they'll try to make some tweaks to it, and then they'll, you know, slap their name on it, add green dye or whatever it may be that they can brand it with. But I haven't tried it out yet, so I can't speak to it yet, but I do want to try one. I just don't want to spring for the money. I'd rather travel or go to an aquarium or whatever it may be instead. The co-op is also a single stage. It's also not made. It doesn't have any of the real high-end steel components or of like titanium or anything that's super weather resistant. It's like it's some sort of stainless steel that's on the cheaper end. When I was reading the specs on it, now I don't know if that comes into play. Maybe it does 10 years down the line, and most people are only going to want it for 2 or 3. I really don't know. It kind of depends on the people shopping. But I've used very cheap regulators from some places, like this very cheap regulator in here. That it's dual stage but only single chamber, so you can only hook it up to one tank. But that one was $49.99 on Amazon back in the day, and they all look like that. There's like 30 that look like that. And yeah. Oh yeah, your average fish keeper, you know exactly when my snowballs were. What are the size of yours, dude? Because the snowballs, so if they were born mid-August 2021, so they're like a year and a half old or a little over like a year and a quarter old, and you just saw how tiny they still are. And this is a warm tank too. I mean, for shrimp, this is actually probably too warm. It's like a 78-degree tank. They get bloodworms and things, but they've all stayed like this size, and they hide in the rockwork. There's no one in there with them. I don't know what's going on. But I mean, I'm not complaining. I kind of like that they're like these tiny little stunted fish, but I'm wondering why they're so tiny. Like they seem happy. There's all 3 of them are still in there. So I appreciate that, by the way, that I got those. But yeah, they all hide in the rockwork all day. They never come out. They're never grazing. They seem to grab a tiny bit of food and then disappear again. Now this tank looks like dog doo-doo. There's duckweed floating. I've got like Christmas moss and spiky moss floating. I've got like a butterfly rotala that was super slow growing, and so it's like as dense as like mayaca. I do have actual mayaca in here too. There's not much of algae in here, but look at the duckweed. It's so long roots because there's no nitrates in this water at all. There's, you know, different Kabamba furcata, but it just hasn't had good nutrients and stuff added to it. And there's Booth and there's Sawassertang, and I just moved over a Persicaria in here. But everything in here is just kind of blah. There's water wisteria that's immersed. And there's this is kind of an unusual one. This is Nicea triflora. And it has some nice kind of peach colors to it usually, but it's just very blah in here also. There's also the whirly vowels in here, one of the curly Q ones. There's Potamogeton gayi in here. A whole bunch of it just kind of breaks off and floats in pieces. This is it right here. So, and then there's Logonandra carolensis, which seemed to be melting for a moment, but then I turned the heaters back on. So, okay, thanks. Luke, who I definitely trust, says, just looked it up. Looks like a discount CO2 Arts Pro. Don't quote me on the following. Most likely a lower quality material since they could make it cheaper, but not 50% price. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. Um, so yeah, doesn't surprise me. Luke knows a lot about high-end fish tank keeping. But Luke, while you're here, I wanted to show off one. I mean, in 3 days of uncovering these weeds, the polysperma are like back to their full glory of pink variegation. And then I got this, and this is a bit of a like head scratcher for me because all of my Crypspiralis red tiger is striped like a red tiger, Crypspiralis. And I've had them get nearly this tall, but this one is 2 feet long stems. I mean, easily. And it's curling up and actually like drifting in the water. And I got this at a local pet store for like near nothing. I mean, it was like $10 for this giant crip. I'm really worried it's gonna melt like crazy. I also got a Laganandra me bulldog that I've been looking for literally the last 2 years, and it is beautimous. I mean, look at these leaves. They're like shiny metallic with like some ridges on them. These leaves can get like 2 feet long too. They've got a bronze color on the center, and then they've got a green kind of scaffolded or ruffled scallop, maybe is the right word, veinage in between. And then look at the underside. It's neon like fuchsia or purple, depends on the water conditions. But there's a few leaves of that melting too. And also you can see there's some roots that came untucked. So see how one of these leaves has kind of been ripped up by the Siamese algae eater already. And then there's a Trip Bolognese underneath all of this stuff, planted right here at the base. And it's got almost see-through um, leaves, and the leaves have this veination. That's not the right term. See how these on the Barclay longifolia have big long lines and basically no cross pattern? On this crypt, they have lots of veins, and it's not nearly as bright. But I planted those all together in the back to give my angels some more room because they've been spawning even without much room. They were spawning like on the glass up front here. So I wanted to give them more room, not to mention my blackfin tetras have been spawning. And I'll just see like a new baby all of a sudden. And I'm like, where did you come from? You know, I won't see any for a day or two. Same with these cories. Look at the size difference. So they were all the same age when I put them in here. And now some of them are yay big and some are yay big. So it's definitely interesting. Oh, you have a Siva Dizanii. I have one of those that I planted right here. This is that Siva Dizanii right here. But it's young. It was from a tissue culture. It's only like 3 or 4 months old. But this is it right here. So we'll see how it does. I don't know. With tissue cultures, you never know, especially with crypts. It could just be a time bomb waiting to melt on me. But again, if people are curious, when I am actually keeping up on my ferts regime, I like to use Brighty K by ADA, which is just potassium. It's just potash in water, basically. And then the Brighty Mineral Green, which is all your micro minerals. So it doesn't have phosphates. It doesn't have nitrogen, and it doesn't have iron, but it has your manganese, magnesium, zinc, all your trace chemicals in it that you might want. And then that way I can dose iron separately with like Flourish iron or whatever I want to use. But the other thing that I recently picked up, and I'm very curious to use it, other than the fact that when we were at the AGA, I also managed to pick up some Laganandra carolensis. So this is what it looks like immersed. It has this lovely spotted, wait, focus, this lovely spotted speckled purple and green look, but it turns so boring underwater. And I want to know if this is a new type that the ADA is selling, or if it's just the same kind and it's going to turn also, because there's some Carolensis in here too. Uh, but Lagonandras and Homolomenas are two of my favorites. But this is the new product that I've never seen before, and it's good to 2025. But this is Aquario's potassium, Neoplants potassium, and all that it is 70 grams of strong potassium fertilizer. And it's literally just potassium. It's 4% by volume potassium, and the rest is talc. So basically baby powder. Because potassium's not water soluble. So there are these like root tab type things, and potassium's always the one that I'm harping on people. Like, it's never going to cause a bunch of algae. Phosphates and nitrates. Look at all these quarries here. There's like 15 probably in here. See, it's the algae eater who's mucking around trying to eat the dying parts of the leaf off of that of the crypt, and he's getting overzealous. He's actually ripping away good stuff. I mean, he could eat that mush like that snail is. That snail should help clean it up. But sometimes they get too carried away when on broadleaves, and they really just start just wrecking stuff. So the other thing is, all under this, moss has grafted to the wood, if you can see that. And tucked in, like I was saying, there's all these Anubias little pieces of Petite, Nana, Pinto, all sorts just tucked in underneath here, and including some really big, long chunks of rhizome, some coppifolia. But this itself, this is miniature, what's it called? Bulbitis hedulata. And it's coming up out here beautifully. I mean, getting the fiddleheads and everything with their spores and everything. So I'm very excited that it has grown out finally. That has taken 3 years for it to finally kick up and out and start getting the fiddleheads out here. It is just loving the fact that this is basically CO2 to the entire plant, just the fact that it's in the atmosphere. Then I've also got the purple bamboo over here that keeps growing up every day, and I keep having to tuck it back down. So I don't know exactly how propagation works with that, but I'll figure it out. Again, more of the Rotala. This is a little bit larger. This is the original mini butterfly before they got even smaller with it. And now they're calling this same kind that is actually like little granular pieces, kind of like right here. They're calling these pearl, which is smaller than mini butterfly. But the mini butterfly, yeah, this is a good example. It used to be around this size. It's just selective breeding. They keep getting it smaller and smaller. So, yeah, but those are in there. And then this is from Luke. This is the Persicaria caligium. Never say it right. I'm sure I said it wrong. And it's in there. Kabamba furcata, the rainbow blaze one. Then we've got back in here, there's just every stem plant hiding. There's my Lagonandra blood red. It's not bleeding heart or anything. It's just the German red one that I've had forever. And you can see the color difference there between the silver up here and, for instance, this is a very common color for Lagonandras. They're an Indian plant for the most part, and Sri Lankan. Also, I guess they go into Cambodia and stuff, but they have very similar colors and leaves to Bucephalandra, which is actually pronounced Bucephalandra, but I'm never going to do that. Yeah, and then I've also got like Limnophilia aromatica and Limno mini, and I mean, this is just a mess this is a tangle. Look how bright the Kabamba pink blaze gets. It's nutty how bright it gets when it has potassium. It gets wild. And then in here, I've also got all sorts of Limnophilia. Again, this is the large Limnophilia. I've got this little red Mayaka, and then I have Mayaka blood red, which is red stem and completely red leaves. and there's lemon mayaka, but I literally cut it down all so much um for the Oregon Fishtoberfest that there's none of it standing. Like it's all somewhere down here in pieces. So I'll have to wait for it to grow back up. And now I've got this job of also needing to pick like these dead, like I choked out on accident my Potomac Eaton gay. Like there's one node that if I float it, it might live, but this is all toast. So I'm a little bit bummed that the snails aren't targeting that. The snails are up high eating other stuff. But in any case, that's enough of this tank. This one is a 90p tank, if anybody was curious with the size. This is another plant that Luke sent me. Oh, look, it's come unrooted a bit. And there are shrimp all over in this too. My Malawa shrimp are in here as cleaners, but they don't really have the guts to. Come on, dude. This red stem is nuts how red it is. The shrimp in here don't have the guts to actually clean up by the angelfish, really, and I don't blame them. That's probably a good game plan to stay alive. Oh, here's another. Now, this I didn't even notice. Like, this is how tangled and dense all this stuff is. But this is the Nicea triflora. It has a super hardy stem, but when you break it, it's like stargrass. It turns black. It's crazy how dark black it can look. It can look like the whole plant is like rotting away. Like, see these leaves, how they have kind of this black tarnish on them? It's very odd. But again, my main star that I'm hoping to nurse back to its glory is the purple Aponic Eaton. That's supposedly a Crispus, but I think it's going to end up being the Caligium, or Calgium, the one from Sri Lanka, because they both appear at the same exact time, and this suspicious vein running through the middle of the purple one makes me wonder that if people were just introducing the new Sri Lankan variety and calling it the old Crispus, but a purple variety. So time will tell with that. Hopefully I can actually take a clipping of the next time a piece of it naturally just kind of falls off. And hopefully I can just naturally take a piece. But some's really purple, some's like a nice lavender or like auburn crimson color. But this has flowered for me twice, and I'm hoping that after some downtime, it'll flower one more time at least for me. And then I've just got this mess of rhizomes and roots to clean up. Like, look at this. This is nuts. This is all just tangled, and it was anchored down with string. But as I got in a manic haze of trimming, look at those anchors. It all just needs trimming. A lot of these leaves will probably need to go in. I've got a whole video on how to bring Anubias back. This stuff actually had too little light is its problem. When the leaves start to turn see-through, it's either a severe nutrient deficiency or it's that they literally had no light. Whereas lower down on the plant, you can see where it was getting light down at the base, like from an angle. Those plants are like perfect that were in the shadows. Same with down in here. Anyways, so we're going to move on. I'm sorry, guys, if I've neglected chat. What else did I miss in here? PNW, Aqua, G-Pass, Fishtoberfest, thanks so much for your support. Oh, yeah, man, thank you guys. I thank everyone for coming out and all of the Portland Club for helping out. It was a lot of fun. I really don't like huge events. Like, I have, rumor has it that I will be speaking at Fishtoberfest. Or not Fishtoberfest. Stop talking, Alex. At blah 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 Aquashella, and yeah, rumor has that will be going on, and it hasn't been like set in stone, but I think that will be happening. Yes. I also split up my fancy bettas. The females over here, the males over here. There are so many. When those shrimp died, they gave birth to all these rams or all these Malaysian trumpet snails, and it's very annoying that they have done so well because I've worked very hard to barely feed this tank. I mean, while I was gone for a long time and I didn't even feed it. Yet there are so many snails in here that have just existed. Now, there's also this is a this is a Logonandra here. You can tell by the long leaf staves and no cross patterns, whereas crypts usually have the crossbar pattern. This is a crypt, this skinnier one, but I don't remember which one it is. It's not Lutea. And then there's more of it. Like I split it up and just let it do its thing. This is a native northwest plant. It's Elodia. It's the kind that's native to my area. We've got everything from Blixa to Bacopa in here, to all the way to like this very nice. I'm actually surprised it's grown so well in the condition it's in, but to this boost that I need to rehab. But I mean, look at the rhizome on this. Let's unchoke it. Let's get it out of the Sawasser tongue. So here's the actual rhizome on it, and it's really reaching up and out. So really the lively parts here, but all of that could be rehabbed since there's leaves growing out all the way at the base. I could take a razor blade, clean this up, and score it a bit and get some undifferentiated tissues at each of the nodes and cut any of the rot out. So that's something on my to-do list in this fish room. Yet again, this is the tank with the beautiful Tiana Nacara candidii, and that's a female there. She had eggs twice now. Both times I was literally leaving town. So this time, if they have eggs, I'm stealing the eggs and putting them elsewhere. They seem to like to have them on these leaves right here. These Catappa almond leaves. So I'm letting them do that. There's the male right there. Aren't these beautiful for how small they are? They're like little firecrackers. And yet again, my Beckford pencilfish, they're always in spawning mode in this tank. They're always, the females are always, even the little females have big old bellies. The old females do too. And the males are just crazy red. I don't know why. I moved the yellow shrimp tank into here, and I'm gonna get it its own little light, but it's just doing its own thing in here. It's the Aquatic Art Breeder Kit one, and we're gonna see how many baby shrimp you can breed in a 2.5 with no filter. Literally no filter at all. I used this, which was in another tank for probably 9 months, and then I planted this in there. This is the Cabamba furcata, and look at all the crazy bright yellow shrimp up at the top. I mean, the live streams are never do anything justice, but they're all saddled. A lot of them have recently dropped their sheds, and so I think it's gonna be a cool experiment. I don't know how many are gonna spawn in that size of a tank. Then also we've got my Lake Turcanas. They're in an algae-infested tank that's hard water, and I think it looks gross, but they keep having babies. They keep raising babies, and they keep taking the babies to new friends' houses. So I don't know what to do there. I'm kind of done with them, honestly. I think I'm going to try to move them out and raise another fish there. Now, the most adorable fish in my fish room is from Fishtoberfest. Aren't these just adorable and charming? So in my Pseudomagil luminatus tank, which obviously I love already because they're beautiful, I have put in these beauties, these little tiny samurai or Valenti gouramis. And I've tried them a few times in this tank as adults, but this time we're going to try some that were bred locally, and then we're gonna see how they do. There is a Panchax orange chin killifish in here. That's probably the biggest fish in here. And then there's also some thread fins. So there's thread fins, there's luminatus, and there's lots still of the lovely little Stiphodons. I'm honestly surprised that they are still growing. The Stiphodons, the females are still getting all big and fat. The males still show off every few days for them. and they're doing their thing. Also, my betta rubras are doing good. They're right over here, and they're healthy and doing well. My betta machiensis are doing good. This betta splendens is too peaceful for his own good. He won't eat these little algae, long-nosed algae-eating shrimp that are Japanese. And then my one that survived, Rainbow Shiner, is also in here too. Oh, let me catch up with the chat, guys. It just jumped on me. Can it? Okay, you guys are talking amongst each other. Let's see. Is anybody asking me things? ABC Biotopes, what's up, buddy? Vinoski, what's up, dude? I'm in New York, but I don't buy new tanks either. I find them and build them. Right on. Got pizza coming and Dr. Pepper. You got me hooked, Mr. Alexander. Irene, well, you're a lucky lady to be hooked on that. I don't know what to tell you. There are so many Stiphodon in here. These are all originally from Aquatic Arts. And I'll think, oh, some passed away. And then I'll look over the rock and I'll be like, oh, there's a female, there's a female, there's a female, there's a female. There's two females over there. And I'm like, where are all the males? And then I'll find them, you know, piled behind a rock. But I need to clean this tank. It's not a deep substrate, and you can see all the algae and loam that's built up on it. So I really need to be cleaning this tank better. But I've been gone. So that's a thing. But I have 6 of these adorable little chocolate gouramis, the samurai gouramis. They turn rainbow colors when they spawn. I have footage of it on the channel somewhere, but they're just so pretty. There's 6 of them, so surely they will outcompete one another. Hey, here comes a male right now. They do their little pogo stick dance and show off their orange and blue fins, these ones. And then, oh, the other kind of common fish, but that I was just getting a kick out of lately, I don't know why, are these Mickey Mouse, Bleeding Heart, Tiger Stripe platies. I know that's a lot of adjectives or nouns, but these little platies are super cute. And they have a little Mickey Mouse. This one looks like the devil. It's got like horns and a round face, whereas some of them actually have the Mickey Mouse like circle, 3-circle thing. And then there is one cherry shrimp in here that I have no idea where he came from, but he's just chilling out in the open, hang out with the wang out. You know, he's just not ashamed, not scared, whatever. But yeah, so I've got quite a few of these little platies in here. I think there's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 9 of these guys in here. And so we'll see how they do. Bigfoot Tanks, what's up? Let's see here. Yeah, the other thing is I want another indoor native tank. You know a guy with rainbow shiners, ABC Aquatic? Yeah, I will actually I would love to buy some more. By the way, my Somfong Rasboras, the long fin one, the one that I have the sole lucky long fin, the only one I've ever seen in the hobby. They're still, you know, chugging along. They should live 5 or 6 years ideally. So they're just doing their thing in here with also with Phoenix and Chili Rasboras. And then there's also what else is in here? Oh, there's also the silver or gold tetras, whatever you want to call them. And then there are the very lovely little pencil fish, the seafoam green pencil fish. They're hiding. There's one, but he's hiding. There's the little CPDs that are in here too, that are hiding. And then the shrimp tank where I can never see the shrimp, but these are the ones that I think are tangerine tigers mixed with the blue stardust, perhaps. But they blend in so insanely that I never know what I'm dealing with. I mean, this one's gonna have babies again, so I'm really happy. And I see some babies in this tank already. But I wanted to show you guys how blue the females get. Let's see, where did she even go? Did I lose her? Oh yeah, here she comes. So she's got babies right now. And do these both? Oh no, one's male, one's female. But the female, nice and blue, she's got babies on the way. Here's the male. Um, and yeah, they're just hiding in here. But that one has babies too. So there's two pregnant ones, and then there's these weird green ones that are kind of nature tone but green. Those are the mixed ones. And then also my freshwater limpets are right here cleaning the glass, doing God's work. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this tank yet again. This is harder water now with all the Malaysian trumpet snails and stuff that are in here. There's another look at the little. You can kind of see the blue on them. But yeah, these are Caridina, not Neocaridina or anything else. My Malawas are Caridina too. And then under here, everybody's just doing their thing. Again, Kabamba fire is blazing away. The metallic purple Kabamba is real purple. And under here, we've got cribs galore, because that's what cribs do. We've also got some grow out with Synodontis and Petricola Synodontis. We also have the blue. See, she's got eggs or something right here. She's garden really tough. But yeah, the Petricola Synodontis are really cool looking little leopard catfish. And this tank is just all beat to hell. I need to aquascape it. I also need to get rid of all this just mulm and junk, because again, this is just sand. Because these cichlids, especially the ones that are the blue, the buffalo cichlids with the blue lips, they don't care about what I plant. Well, yeah, they do. They actually care, and then they rip it out. And then these, which are growing out mid-size, are not the buffalo cichlid babies. They're actually the Haplochromis, and look at the mess they've made. They have literally turned it into a biotope. Quarlock, those are called Valenti gouramis, or they also go by the name Samurai or Rainbow gouramis. But yeah, this tank, they threw a fit. I've transplanted all these plants for them from that big tank that I cleared out, and they kicked up every bit of mulm they could. I mean, just the gravel and some of the heavy sand is left. They kicked it out up over the top. I mean, literally like splashing their tail. These Haplochromis are the most grumpy fish I've ever owned. Focus. Mama's grumpy. Daddy's grumpy. Daddy's right there. I know it looks way dirtier in the camera than it actually is. But yeah, so they're doing their thing. Also in here, I showed you guys last time, but there are some very nice Malawa shrimp. This is the blue colony. And again, as I've been gone, I've noticed, holy cannoli, there's a lot of red ones being thrown from my new blue line, and even some lavender ones. So there's that lavender one again with the babies. And here's more lavender that are her same generation mixed with the blue. So I don't know, we might get our first real purple shrimp, not from a Neocaridina or Caridina. Well, there are metallic purples, obviously, in Caridina. But, you know, my blues are not so blue right now. I don't know if I sold too many and now the reds crossed back with them, or what happened necessarily. There are still quite a few blues. Like here's a blue at the end of the turkey baster right now. But I'm just going to let their numbers build back up. See, here's a nice blue one here. Where'd it go? Come back, Bluey. You're my boy, Blue. Where are you? I thought I just swirled you around, little buddy. There's a lot of sheds in here. This is like their zone where no one dares go other than the little shrimp, because it's just so tangled and matted and tannins and stuff. But there's just thousands of little baby shrimp. Look at how blue some of the babies are, though. Where did it go? Of course, I lose it the second I say that. I shouldn't talk. I should just film and let you guys decide if you see a blue one, because I literally said that and it just disappeared. Oh, it went off that way. But yeah, so in any case, the blue Malawa line starting to show a lot of purple, which is very odd. Here's some young baby blues. They have to be totally relaxed to see what color they're actually going to be, which makes for culling difficulties. You basically have to cull them by letting them eat and be happy, then grabbing the best and assuming only the best are of the best, because naturally they look like this, just clear shrimp. And then you start a new tank, like up here. And in here I've got Lamia live bears, or not Lamias, sorry guys. The smallest ones, the Florida, why can't I think of their name? I can't though. The ones from Florida, the live bears that are adorable. The tiniest ones there are, they're called killies. They have a killie name, but I forget their name because I'm a stupid dodo. Let's see who. Wait, I saw a super chat. I don't want to miss it. Oh, it's Alan for the 2024 AGA Fund. Thanks a lot, Alan. You are a pal. Where are your sticklebacks? They're outside, Dr. Anthony. So I want to show you guys my biggest heartbreak of a tank right now. So my biotope, my inlay tank, my baby. Most of the fish are fine. One female gourami got beat to death by her males, unfortunately. The CPDs seem to still be spawning and everything. But what's going on in this tank that's driving me nuts is this light's too strong. I need to switch out the light because all the rocks are gathering this debris and algae on it. And then I don't have enough snails, nor do I want a ton of snails because Lake Inlay doesn't have a ton of snails. And this debris in this is bioaccumulating. Well, that's a dumb thing to say. It's accumulating, period. And you can see just how dirty it is at the bottom. So I need to get a siphon and literally clean all that out because as this melts, one, it's just food for cyanobacteria and algae. But two, it's also when plants decay, when they're newly decaying, they actually turn into what we know as hydrogen peroxide. And they start to melt their own leaves when they think the plant is doomed. And they can then store some of the compounds in that reaction down into the roots, apparently, especially in water plants. This is something I learned at AGA from the Seachem head chemist. So I assume it's right, although I need to do more reading on it. And maybe Dr. Anthony knows. But they create, just naturally, it creates hydrogen peroxide, and that then causes a chain reaction of any delicate plant to start melting. So even though the fish are doing okay, and I've still got my, from Luke in here, the beautiful Africans that aren't part of the biotope at all, I took out the Siamese algae eater, I took out the extra pleco, and I think that's when everything started to run away from me, because the Siamese algae eater and the pleco, they really did keep track of cleaning these rocks and the wood and everything. And now I've just got an out of control thing. And in the actual biotope of Lake Inlay, what they would have going on is they would have there's a few bigger loaches, but then they have carp, and they have algae eating carp all over the lake. They just suck on rocks. Take that, they suck on rocks. So that's kind of what's going on in my world. Let's see here. Also, the tanks by the window are doing good. The papyrus plant is doing good. It's got lots of fronds started now. Big old fronds. And then all the house plants are pretty bananas right now, which is great. My skull is growing well. And yeah, the big tank. Oh, I moved the Plecos out of my L144As. They're the blue eye lemons. And I moved them out from the other inlay tank where they were hanging out in the inlay and in the rainbow tank. So yeah, I've got a lot of work cut out for me if you guys didn't gather that so much. Yeah, lots of work cut out for me. The other thing I wanted to show you guys before I go, head around to Formosa. Thank you, Luke. That is what the little live bears are called. But they have another name. What is it? Something killifish. That's incorrect, but I still want to know what I was thinking of. Hold on, guys. I'm getting the camera back. Okay. Now, pardon if this rings for a minute. Cover your ears. Chaos may ensue. Layout. There we go. Now you can see how fat I am. Okay, so then we're going to make this primary. Maybe. Maybe we'll do that. I don't know. We'll find out what it lets me do. Am I going to have to turn it this way again? Yes. Why is this giving me so much trouble? Come on. Okay, we'll give this a go. All right, so what I want to show you guys is I'm gonna have to allow it through here. Okay, so this is my Vivi site, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So there'll be a link to it, but basically, Vivi allows me then to upload all my aquariums. So like I put my new shrimp aquascape up on their website, and it has the golden back shrimp, the Cabamba furcata, and it's all then linked with info and a picture gallery of the entire tank, including like the kit that it came with, a description, then current tank parameters you can add, and then you can get out of there, or you can send a link to someone else and be like, check out what I'm raising, like my filterless vase. You can then go into there, and I've got my crypts that are in there, the Malawa that are in there, the Ludwigia, and I can even explain the link with my like YouTube info, which my info is all linked up here in my profile. You can share all that, and they've started selling a whole lot of stuff on here, and I just wanted to show you guys. So I designed all this, so if you guys have an issue with like these images here that are cycling through, and this is what their little UX team is saying, is that Vivi is cycling, as in it's not quite ready. But anything you sign up to sell on Vivi, $25 shipping for a medium pack. That's like up to 6 bags, basically. But all these little illustrations I had to do for every plant and every category, and I did the layout up here behind. So this is all fish, salt and freshwater. But if we go to, say, freshwater, then up here, they've got cichlids and the kingdom and phylum and or class, order, family, species. Well, genus is in there too. And you can see Aquatic Arts is the main person on here, but also John's Tropical Fish is on here. Anybody can be on here. I can be on here. You can start listing, and then you just upload a picture of your fish that you want to sell, and boom, $12.95 for these blue German rams or whatever. But then you can search. There's also a learning center, which I'm really stoked about. I'm going to be writing hopefully some articles and things. Like this is pictures of my blue. These are my fish right here. I donated this picture of feeding my blue lip buffaloes and my bettas. And just there's articles of how to like spot feed, how to feed everything from puffers to omnivores to anything you could think of, basically, and how to choose the right fish, what the average price spent on maintenance is, how much people care per hour a week on stuff, and then all of these little background arts. That's what they hired me for. And so I tried to make sure that I got all of the details correct, as far as like if we go into freshwater fish or invertebrates or plants, like amphibians. These are all little illustrations I did, line drawings on the little pyramid. And right now they're not selling any frogs or axolotls because nobody signed up. But I hope people would sign up, and all you have to do is go to VIVVY.com. And I want to see this succeed. I also illustrated all these little plants too. But you can see right now, still Aquatic Arts is one of the main people on there, because the owner of both this website and Aquatic Arts is the same person. But he literally started this thinking there's a good chance that this whole format will put my it will put my business out of business. So he said, why don't I get ahead of that and be the marketplace? So a lot of this is still not on here and stuff, but you don't need any codes or passwords or anything. You can just set up on Vivi. Guppy Girl has been on here. I know a few other folks that are in the community are here. And then what I wanted to mention was that on Tuesday, Zach, who's works at the company, Vivi, look, they've got alien bettas. He's gonna be though on the Aquatic Morning Show on Tuesday, walking people through what Vivi's all about. So this person just added an alien betta as their tank. They're not selling them. So they're working out kinks. They're looking for feedback. But if you want to sell fish, it's $25 a box, overnight shipping insured, which you will not find anywhere. So I wanted to give that a shout out, but now I'm done with that. That's my little platform that I wanted to give a shout out to, that I think is a cool thing they're doing. All right, so now we can get rid of this part of me. Maybe. The problem is, guys, the StreamYard setup is casting on my phone, not on my computer. Don't know why, but it's driving me insane. It is strictly American right now as far as if you want to buy stuff, but if you want to use it, you can totally, like I did, put your tank on there, your parameters, your fish, all that stuff, and your inverts and your filtration, your media, your story, your pictures. Over time, you can enter and plot out your temperature, your tannins, your, all this stuff has the ability to be plugged in, and then over time you can ask for, like, over a year, what did the temperature do in this tank, or what did the blah 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 do. So I think it's going to be a pretty cool site. You can't double the discount codes. Yeah, probably not. Yeah, you can't use my discount codes at the moment in Vivi, but you can still buy from Aquatic Arts the normal way. Yeah, mute one of my cameras. That's the annoying part. One of them is muted. So any case, I'm gonna walk away. I'm gonna say goodnight because I don't know. It's too much of a headache, and both the computer and the live stream are yelling at me saying my phone is out of battery and the laptop's about to be out of battery. So I'm gonna call it a night here because, yeah, it's driving me insane that I muted one camera and it's still echoing. But thank you guys so much for joining me. Play with Vivi if you want to give it a shot, or even buy anything, or just list your tanks. I think it's going to be a fun site. And then if you need to sell anything, that's the place to do it cheap, that's for sure. Other than that, though, guys, thank you so much for the super chat, Alan. Thank you for becoming a member, m'lady. And yeah, exactly, Stephen Nelson. So this could be a cool baseline. I see your point that it's very useful to collect data and place to track it even, though I cannot at the moment partake in the market. Yeah, exactly. Also, aquascapers, if they want to do it and just share, like, check out this aquascape I did, they can do it from anywhere in the world. And they are not harvesting they're not harvesting data either. They have a crazy strong ethics code. And while they do have, like, recommended suggestions based on what you buy and stuff, they're not at all harvesting, like, what you list and then thinking, oh, they like Tetras, let's sell their info and sell Tetras, which is what I appreciate, because Aquatic Arts has always been very anti that. They only recently started advertising targeted, like, you left something in your shopping cart. And that was a whole, like, ethical debate, debacle, whatever you want to call it, whether or not they should even, like, remind people, or if that was intrusive. So the fact that they have those conversations is exciting to me, and the fact that David's going to be focusing, the owner, on Vivi now instead of Aquatic Arts in-house, I think it's going to be really interesting. And it's like Get Gills, it's like Aquabid, except they're trying to build so much more into it. Also education, preservation, teach-ins with the experts, things like that. They're trying to build all that in. But thank you so much, members, friends, replayer watchers, and everyone in between. My new mods, welcome. And I love you guys. I'll see you again soon. I usually broadcast on Mondays, but I'm thinking Tuesday might be a better fit, just the way Steam Thoughts streams tend to go over long, and then I start late, and I know everybody ends up waiting, but I just don't like cutting off my buddy. So yeah, I think Tuesday might be when we bump the next live stream too, but I may always do a pop-up whenever I'm feeling foxy or squirrely. So thank you guys. Have a wonderful night. Carry on through the internet, and I'm sure I'll see many of you around all over the place. Have a good night, guys. Bye.